Great. Hello to you all. I'm Henry Hanson from Wisewool in Tairāwhiti. Please have a good look at the packages that tells you where we're up to and the products that we're making now, which and there's some good bedtime reading there and in our little booklet. Thank you for having us here today. That's fantastic. We'll tell you where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going to be as soon as possible. This hearing has 4 focus points. Our presentations will hopefully give our opinions on most, if not all, of these points. Next slide, thank you. So this slide shows our property at Hexton near Gisborne, where I still live. It looks a bit different now, but this is where my great-grandfather, W.H. Smith, Henry William Smith, saw an opportunity to add value to the wool that he was handling for all the farmers in the area by washing or wool scouring it. So he ended up being one of the first wool scourers in New Zealand, and he exported it all around the world to UK and Europe especially. So that was in 1894, and that's him standing in the foreground. And he was successfully scoured wool on that property until the 1950s, when which was of course the Korean wool boom. So suddenly everyone was into wool, and we moved into closer to the Gisborne port, and that's where our base is now. We continued to scour wool and trade it around the world up until the 1990s. And since then, we had to close the scour because of various reasons, but mainly because of the 91 wool crash, which is you all know about, which was an absolute disaster. I won't go into the details of that because I think we all know it. I have my own opinions on why that happened. You can ask me later if you want to. Okay. Since then, we've been private buying and brokering for our Gisborne wool growers. And then you go from there and you jump forward 130 years, and the family, and now the 5th generation, are keen to carry on WH's legacy. Jointly, we have decided not to be the ones that turn and run when the going gets tough. As a family, we have committed all of our resources into leading the charge of the Wool Brigade.
How good. That's really good.
The current disastrous condition of strong wool prices is a massive opportunity to re-establish the rightful place of our strong wool by engineering nature's cleverness at our factory. The reason is simple. If we continue to send our wool overseas, as you have heard from Wool Impact before, if we continue to send our wool overseas unprocessed, then we cannot expect an improvement in wool price. It just won't happen.
No, you're right.
By adding value and manufacturing in New Zealand, we can control the flow of money back to the farmer to make the economic viability of wool growing sustainable.
Half right.
The birth of Wisewool was imperative. I knew it was required because if we don't change, nothing changes. Next slide, please. So one huge advantage that we have, and you've already heard it today, but I'm going to hammer it home. One huge advantage we have over all of the wool-growing countries in the world is we have the highest quality and quantity of strong wool in the world as a country. Wisewool has made it our job to educate our growers to produce the premium wool that we require to make our products fit for high-end market use overseas. If we don't aim for the high end using premium wool, again, it will not be able to return to the farmer a sustainable price. With the overseas change to a more natural, sustainable products, our wool will become more sought after, but only if New Zealand's branding and marketing strategies are modernised. Innovation and education are the key inputs required from Wisewool. Next slide, thank you. For 130 years, our farmers have been the most important part of our family business. They are basically our friends and family, and they need our help. As a fifth generation wool buying family, we are still dealing with a lot of the same families that my great grandfather was dealing with in the 1890s. They're still there, they're still out there, and they're still growing sheep and beautiful wool. We are handling an increasing amount of wool in the Tairāpiti area, and we plan to spread our wool demand to other areas, obviously Hawke's Bay. As we need to grow quickly to enable scale to emerge into new users and uses. It's all about making calculated changes to the on-farm practices to achieve the correct wool type. Beautiful white 75mm second shear wool, double B style with the absolute minimum of vegetable matter. Sounds pretty bloody nice to me. Our growers that are growing this Wisewool type are already receiving at least 25% above the net auction market price. And now we need to ramp up investment in our production equipment. I was doing some back of the matchbox number crunching, and I totally struggle to see why Wisewool couldn't use, and I'm probably exaggerating, but I don't see why we couldn't use 70 to 80% of the farmer's total wool clip in our non-woven products. It's a big number of kilos, but if we don't think big, then this rescue mission will fail. So thanks for your time and listening to my quick rant. The boys will tell you, if you ask them, I'm quite good at ranting. I've been in the industry for 44 years, and with the birth of Wisewool, feel more positive about the future of strong wool than ever before. In fact, I feel 10 years younger, and I wish I was 30 years younger. So now I'm going to pass over to the next gen of passionate wool men. My son Angus, following him my nephew Harry's and their presentations, and then we'll look forward to some really hard questions from you. Thank you.
Well done, fantastic.
I think just to start off, I'd like to say it's passionate ranting. We enjoy it, but there is a time and place, I think.
Today is the time.
Angus, I'm head of operations for Wisewool, based over in Mount Maunganui, and our factories over in Tipoi. So Wisewool's supply chain is vertically integrated from farm to finished product. We actually have a family member at every stage of that supply chain handling the wool. The only stage we don't completely control is the scour. However, we have a great relationship with Woolworks. We were actually there last week at the Aotearoa reopening, following the Cyclone Gabrielle devastation. Very impressive to see what they've done in such a quick time frame. Because of our supply chain, we have an extremely unique opportunity to produce huge volumes of woolen products on demand that are completely traceable back to farm.
Wow.
That is our competitive advantage as Wisewool. We alone, and I don't say this lightly, have the capability of reviving the New Zealand strong wool industry if executed correctly and in a timely manner. Next slide, please. So what does Wisewool do? Just quickly, we produce 100% New Zealand strong wool non-wovens for the global high-end furniture and bedding industries. Manufacturing domestically is the only way to maintain the product and heritage integrity and have value realised at the farm gate. Now, we currently pay our farmers at least 50 cents per kg more than market value. And we are very proud of this because we have been able to achieve actual real change from scratch in the last 2 years since starting Wisewool. Our current plant in Tipoi, the factory there, has been great to establish our business and our brand. In order to service the demand efficiently, which we have found, and to use larger amounts of New Zealand grown wool for value-added products, it is time to scale our manufacturing capabilities. We absolutely have the expertise, the knowledge, and know how to do it throughout the entire supply chain. Next slide, please. At Wisewool, innovation is absolutely at the forefront of everything we do. we've had to take a historically forgotten, boring fibre and repurpose it in a way that captures value to return to the farmer. Nikki, my mother, she's been spearheading the whole innovation side of the business as new product development manager. Wisewool has numerous research and development initiatives on the go at every stage, and we continue to innovate with wool every day. We have MPI funding through the SWF fund, which has helped us immensely. We have student experience funding, as well as an innovation seed aid through Callaghan Innovation. We've had assistance from New Zealand Trade and Enterprise for market research and validation for overseas markets. And we've also had help from our regional business partners in Tairāwhiti around strategy and sustainability. Just to help you appreciate the breakthroughs we are making through innovation, we're thrilled with our advances, which will result in a Wisewool product replacing a range of conventional products used in a vast range of applications. We have done the groundwork, found the demand. Now all we need is a capital injection to service the demand and return better wool prices for our farmers. I'm going to hand you on to Harry now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ang. I'm Harry Hay, Henry's nephew, Angus's cousin, and it's definitely not a burden. It's an absolute honour to join Angus as 5th generation in our family business. We'll kick on to the next slide, please. Henry spoke earlier about the fact that we have the world's best quality wool, and it's no secret. When we started Wisewool, we realised at the beginning that quality wool is nothing without a quality brand. And therefore, we ensured from the beginning that we started a premium story so that our farmers received a premium in their back pocket. And you'll see that as evidence of all the marketing collateral in front of you. Andy Coe talked about Kiwis, sort of the successes we've seen on the world stage with building a brand like Allbirds and Icebreaker. And, Kiwis were naturally really good marketers. And we're lucky to learn from those businesses who have walked the talk in our fibre sector before us. Here at Wisewool, we're an ingredient brand, and our customers in the bedding and furniture world are now leveraging our storytelling and our products. And the tags you'll see are a mark of trust in the design community and represent 100% wool replacement. And Catherine, you spoke earlier about the story from the farmers actually understanding where it's from, and the QR codes bring about some stories from some of our farmers and actually really make them feel part of the journey.
Here we go.
So a strong brand has longevity and creates future demand, and that is what we're doing. A good example of this is on Sunday morning. Sadly, Ang's missing day 2 of duck shooting. And he's heading back to our factory where we have German producers flying out from Germany to film Wisewool and our story, which will be aired on German television to 21 million watchers at the end of this year. It's just another example following country calendar and all of the ongoing marketing where storytelling and branding, we believe, will change this industry. Next slide, please. So I've had the fortunate really lucky job actually of traveling the world for the past 2 years, Australia, America, Indonesia, Vietnam, showcasing our Wisewool products and promoting the New Zealand strong wool industry to the globe. We've partnered with large bedding and furniture manufacturers who have decided to cast aside synthetics and replace them with our 100% Wisewool products. We have global customers happily paying a premium today. But branding isn't everything, and timing definitely helps too. Our customers are under real pressure from their consumers who want to know what their product is made of. Furthermore, as we heard earlier, fire retardancy regulations and Scope 3 emissions targets are all aiding the conversation with our manufacturers. Wool can help right now. Promoting the New Zealand strong wool industry has immense merit if we do this together as an industry. 2 weeks ago, we were over at the IWTO conference in Adelaide, which sure you're all aware of, with Minister Patterson, Bremworth, Wool Impact, Woolworks, Ortex, New Zealand Merino and Wisewool. And as a united front, we reinforce the world's perception of our premium New Zealand wool, and we need to do more of this. Next slide, please. So I think, and I don't need to repeat it, Angus has touched on it, we're immensely fortunate for the help we've had to date, particularly from New Zealand Trade and Enterprise and from the MPI SFF Fund. Personally, the NZTE have, opened doors on the world stage, beachhead advisors, walking into markets and getting help on the ground. It's been immensely helpful. And equally, it's allowed us from MPI to continue to innovate, which too is crucial. But the renaissance of the strong wool industry really needs capital investment for plant and machinery and also to help us with distribution. And I'm going to repeat what Henry mentioned earlier. It's really simple. If we continue to send our wool overseas unprocessed, then we cannot expect an improvement in the wool price. By adding value in manufacturing in New Zealand, we can control the flow of money back to the farmer and make the economic viability of wool growing sustainable again. Adding value closer to the farmer here in New Zealand is imperative. So, thank you for listening to our Wisewool story. We are changing the strong wool industry and we just need the capital to help make it work faster. So
I've got a few remarks and then I'm going to go over to questions. This is to you, Henry, and your family. I'm quite an emotional man. This is a really cool story. I love this. This is authentic. And it makes me proud to be a New Zealander. Really does.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's awesome. And actually the feeling I have about it is that you're doing it all. You have the support and the sympathy of this parliament, I would say.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, if we are to put our money where our mouth is, which we say we support the wool industry, what do you need from us? What do you need from this house? What do you need from this parliament? Not just from this government, but from the years to come. Like, what do you need us to do to make this work?
Yeah, we talked about exactly that question last night, and it was going to be asked, and we want it to be asked. So.
Yeah, in order for us to make change, we need capital to build a larger plant and factory to scale and move quicker. It's as simple as that.
So you're talking about direct government support, financial support like that?
Yes.
Okay.
And my question actually most leads on from that because, congratulations for that presentation. It is an amazing story. We need to see more of it. Totally agree with you in terms of adding value here and not sending it offshore, and you're an incredible family story. You talked initially about thinking big and you said wanting to handle 80% of New Zealand farmers' wool. So, and then talk about capital in terms of the manufacturing plant. I mean, is that the only area it will take to get the 80% of farmers' wool, or are there other areas as well?
We make lots of different products. So the inferior types, we can use that to make obviously products like weed meating and that sort of thing, and cheaper sort of products. We tried insulation, forget that. That's not going to increase the price of wool to the farmer. So we quickly changed from that to go to the products that you can see there, which is high end. So we really need to concentrate on being able to use as much of the clip as possible. I said 70 to 80%. We could make products out of 70 to 80% of New Zealand strong wool, but we can't do all of that tomorrow. We need a plant 10, 15 times the size of the one we've got and more up to date, and then we can do it.
Well, and just another quick question, export markets, because you touched on export, which obviously is our opportunity, right? In terms of adding value here and then exporting it, where are those opportunity markets?
The world really is our oyster. When you tell a good story and you have a good product and you find the right brands, you can make it happen. I wouldn't say globally which market should we go after. We need to find the right brands and businesses who like our products and our story and will leverage that. Sure, there are more of these brands in the sectors we're targeting in certain markets. So for example, the US, North Carolina, the home of furniture manufacturing, really exciting area. It has a lot of promise. But then equally, I was in Indonesia last month. You know, that economy is rock star moving and moving quickly. A lot of manufacturing is moving to Indonesia. And that also is an area where a lot of emerging brands are starting to take shape and really buy into our story because they're an emerging economy that wants to leverage a sustainable product and they see it as an opportunity to get ahead. So I think to answer your question, we've really realized that partnering with brands who share our ethos and our storytelling is the way to go. Yeah.
I think, sorry, just very quickly, just to build on your question, Steve. We have done what we've done today with one salesman. Asking what we need that capital for. It's for manufacturing capability. It's also for boots on the ground. Because yeah, as I say, we've covered the world with one person basically.
Yeah. And we've proven it, and now it's time to scale. Yeah.
Miles and then Suze.
Yeah, look, thanks for your presentation. It was really, really good, and I'm glad to see you sort of focused on the producer. You know, your effort to have the producer in mind. I guess my question is, do you see that there could be, is there a ceiling for the price you could get for the wool, you know, back to the farmer? Or do you see?
I think dependent on the applications you're going for, we are going for top right-hand corner, high-end furniture and bedding, so we can charge the price, because as the price of wool moves up, which is exactly why we're doing this, we want to be able to maintain the margin and keep increasing. I think different applications, even out of the non-woven space, which we would love to look at getting into in the future, you're able to charge different price points. So a ceiling, no, we have not even come close to seeing it yet.
Have you got a goal? I guess,
we've got it.
for the return back to the farmer?
With a number on it?
Yeah.
I think first and foremost, we need to be at a stage where it's not costing them to share. That is our primary incentive. And then the sky's the limit. We will give back to them as much as we possibly can as we continue to grow the business.
And we will be controlling. So, you know, if the current system doesn't work because the wool disappears overseas, totally unprocessed, and there's a lot of money made out of the wool overseas, but none of it makes its way back here. The only way we can stop that rot is by doing it here. So it's definitely possible. If we follow our current system and just mushroom it, I honestly don't see any issue with it. If we've got more young people in the industry like these two who are into it and see the future, we're away, we're into it. And there's plenty of their friends around who would love to be working in such a cool product as Wisewool and Strong. They're there. They try to get jobs from us already, but we haven't got enough money.
Any more questions, members?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Oh, no, you go, Suze, because you.
I was just quickly going to say, so with the swing tag thing, so you're often working in conjunction with other brands, so you just have your tag on, say, a Louis Vuitton sofa or something. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then the other thing was with the money, clearly the government's got no money, but you're asking for financial assistance. But I'm just thinking, have you explored, and you're getting some help with NZT, and it's great to see those models working. Like I really, that's fantastic to see them working the way, and you talking positively about them. But is there any other way that you can see of helping raise funds or doing it in conjunction? Have you explored any other options of raising public funds as well as private funds?
It's definitely option.
Yeah.
But think of how many times the farmer has been asked to contribute money into the wool industry. All these co-ops and things. So I'll keep calming.
You don't have to.
All these co-ops and different types of marketing systems and all this, it all collapses eventually because it doesn't have any grunt behind it. You actually have to have some bricks and mortar and something that you can actually control. All we do is we go around the world and we we do these amazing marketing plans, and hey, some of them do work for quite a while, but we still need to be doing things here that we can control rather than just giving it away for someone else to make money.
Do you think there needs to be a
I
levy?
just do.
Oh, levy.
Of course.
Okay.
Yep, that,
And
Catherine's got something, Susan, then we're done.
Or can I follow up with my
Yeah,
question?
quick follow-up,
Yeah,
and then
thank
I'll
you.
ask.
So we talking about the industry bodies too. So how do you see it working best? Like, do you think we need a single market, or do you see that when I can take you back to why you're here, is because as a committee, we decided rather than just talking to industry bodies, it would be great to also talk to people that were actually doing stuff and to find out what you need and what's worked for you and what hasn't. So that part of your story and your passionate story was absolutely sensational. Thank you very much for your presentation. But yeah, what do you see in terms of the bodies? Like we keep seeing all these logos of different people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know if we've got an answer for that, but I think it was interesting hearing before needing to work together as an industry with brands and collectively around innovation. And since we've started for 2 years, we continually get businesses, people reach out to us with ideas, and some of them lone farmers, some of them businesses wanting to differentiate with different products.
Yeah.
I think what's been really cool for us, and also just for the industry, is we've tried to give up as much of our time to work with them to innovate, to come up with new products. And so I think you're starting to see, as the new generation of wool businesses comes through, a lot more collaboration. So I think it is happening.
Yeah. That's good.
And I think there is a lot of opportunity to learn and grow together. And it is happening. It is. And it's month by month it increases. And the IWTO is a great example of that.
Yeah.
I think, collectively, all together, a week together as an industry, talking about what's happening on the ground and trying to help each other to help the farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly ask a question around the value add and the cost structure, because, we look at the farmer and you've touched on, and, $1 a kilo or whatever, it's dismal, that's costing more to shear the sheep than they get for their wool. You're taking that wool from Woolworks, I'm assuming, and then adding huge value in this product with a significant margin that obviously people overseas are paying a premium for. So if you were to get the capital to scale up your manufacturing, you've still got to create the demand for this product to then be able to give the farmer more for the product that they're sending out the gate. But where does the farmer make the money? So how do we get the farmer making more money? Because obviously the money's going to be in this product, which obviously you're selling, but what about the farmer?
So yeah, it's
They already
really,
are paying a premium.
it's a really simple structure of our business, which is often probably not discussed as easily so people can understand, but
Yeah.
Wisewool procures wool from East Coast Tairāwhiti farmers at the moment, from over 250 farms.
Yeah.
Procures wool directly from them, who pay the farmer a Wisewool bonus in their wool
Okay.
checks.
Yeah.
So it is completely transparent throughout, and that's part of our business.
Yeah.
So we buy all wool. What we can't use for Wisewool at this time is sold in the open market. But the farms that are being used for Wisewool, in their wool check is a Wisewool bonus.
Fantastic,
Okay, yeah,
fantastic.
that's
Push
great.
on.
Kia ora koutou, I live in Rangitukia on the east coast, so I'm just really proud, echoing the sentiments of everyone. Good to see where Hanson Road comes from.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where we started.
So I just wanted to echo the sentiments of my colleagues, say how proud I am that this innovation is coming out of Tairāwhiti, and that I'll certainly be in touch.
Great.
very much.
Thanks, Kush.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was very, very good submissions. And they're good submissions, but this was a particularly good one. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
great.
Thanks very
Thank you all.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Great.
I'll tell some of our farmers at home to buy their sheep back.
That's what we want.
Anyone that wants anything, go for it. You may want
Well,
one.
can we,
home,
Keep
you
the
may-
book.
can we
You
take one?
can have one of those.
Well, I've scanned them.
May I get these two?
Awesome.
Yep.
I've scanned them.
Members, we
I've
have
scanned
an
them.
optional break for 10
I'll come and
minutes.
pick one up.
I suggest.
Yeah, good.
I'll keep that in my office.
Just,
Oh,
if-
yeah.
if-
You have 10 minutes.
Change this story.